Gmail Conversation View. In this video tutorial, we're going to walk you through the steps about how Gmail creates their conversation view, which is different from what we have previously used in Microsoft Outlook. Going over to our email that we can see here, I have those two previous emails from before, but the one that we have been emailing back and forth with Claire, we can see is bolded, which means that it is a new email, but there's something different about that, which there's a number over here in parentheses, that number 4. So what that means is that the email that's going to go back and forth between this user and Claire, there is 4 emails, but they have all been what's called threaded together into one particular entry. Gmail groups these together in the conversation, and it ultimately will show up in one inbox entry. By clicking on this, it's going to open up, and now I can see here is the 4 emails that will all be together in this one particular threaded conversation. Users often like this is because if there's a lot of emails that will be going back and forth between people, that they will all only show up as one single inbox entry, and it helps reduce the clutter. It does take a bit of testing and trial to be able to get familiar with it, because people often are unfamiliar with what we see here, which is the stacking. And we can see how it goes back in time here, how the first email showed up at 10:40, which was 22 minutes ago, and the next one was 10 minutes ago, and then 9 minutes ago, and 6 minutes ago. And these are all now the 4 different, the first user, the reply, the user again, and then the reply, and they'll all be lumped together. To be able to reply to any of them, you can see each of them does have their own reply as well here. So I can click over here to just reply to the last one, or if I wanted to reply to an earlier one, at the very bottom of the thread is the reply and forward that will be connected with the very last thread that just came in. So what oftentimes people will do is, once the conversation is going and they're done with it, we mentioned before, our 2 options to be able to be done with it is to, or there's more than 2, but you can delete the email, or I can archive the email. These are ones that we definitely recommend using the archive feature. And let me show you how that works. When I click on the archive, that email is now out of our inbox and it is gone. I can still find it if I hit the drop down and I go to my all mail. That's where I can find it all. There's the 4 email thread, but it's not showing up in my general inbox email. Now, what's interesting is that if there is a new email that is going to get sent, that email, the entire thread will be repopulated back to the top. So every time a new person is added on to that, or a new reply is sent, it just gets brought back to the top, and you as the user never needs to do that anymore to be able to bring it back up. The last piece is that some people are not necessarily comfortable with having this conversation view on. Personally, I recommend to try the conversation view for a while. It does take a little bit of time to be able to get comfortable with it, but you may like it. But there is a way to be able to turn that off and to be able to go back to the more traditional, that you get a separate email for each and every single time. So we mentioned before that how we can get into our settings, and that's the gear over here on the far right. If I click on that and go over to settings, this brings up lots of different sort of up across the top here, different sort of areas like labels and inbox and accounts. We're going to stay under general, and we can go down here to conversation view. And you can see here it says sets whether the emails of the same topic will be grouped together. Gmail defaults with having this on, but if you would like to, you can turn that off. And you also need to be able to hit save your changes. Then from here, you can go back to your email inbox, and all future emails will come in one at a time.